Hi, Dan Cooper, Cooper's Conundrums, and I'd like to talk some more about Sinai. Sinai is pretty phenomenal as far as the foundation of America's Constitution in our country. Remember and recall that they elected judges, delegates, representatives for families of 10, 50, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000. These were courts of original and appellate jurisdiction. They did more than that. They judged the people. They decided disputes, but when they judged them on the law that God gave them. What a concept. Listen. Take you wise men and understanding and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. That's Deuteronomy 1:13. They have to be wise men. Wise men follow the law. Remember Alma talking to his son? Or remember, and learn wisdom in thy youth, learn in thy youth to keep the commandments of God. They follow the law. All right? This is what we learn in Doctrine and Covenants 98. Therefore, honest men, wise men should be sought for diligently. Good wise men you should observe to uphold, otherwise whatsoever is less than these cometh of evil. So when you don't have good men, good women to rule over you, it becomes evil, isn't it? Wow. Let's look at some of the requirements of these, quote, judges, delegates, representatives. Thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness thou shalt judge thy neighbor. Okay? Doesn't matter if you're politically connected, if it's your child that's got to deal with Iran and making millions, it doesn't matter. We judge righteously. Okay? Pursuing it. You shall have one manner of law as well for the stranger as one for your own country. I'm the Lord. Okay? One law. We used to have one law in America. It's called double jeopardy if you're tried for one. But then, especially with George Bush and these individuals who were involved in, these cops who were involved with this guy out in California during the riots, and they were acquitted. They were acquitted criminally. George Bush says, well, let's go after them civilly. And now we have two things. If you can't convict criminally because they did nothing wrong, then you go after them civilly. Okay, just to get money? What's the deal? And when people were punished biblically, guess what? The money didn't go to the state, didn't go to the government. A small fraction went to the government to take care of expenses, but it went to the victim. What a concept. What a concept. Okay, these people got to judge themselves. Ye shall not respect persons in judgment. This is Deuteronomy. Ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man. For the judgment is God. The cause that is too hard for you, bring it to me. It's too hard for you at the 50 level, kick it up to 100. 100, kick it up to 1,000. Courts of original and appellate jurisdiction. If it's not your concern, kick it up. I charged your judges, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, judge righteously between every man his brother and the stranger that is with him. Now, as they grew, they needed more people. Okay, so they had elders, we had the heads, they had judges, the offices, and they presented themselves before God. We discussed that previously. So what does that have to do with us? Our law is the Constitution. The 1833 Constitution was given to us by God. Have you read it? Have you read it in the last 3 years? Do you study it? Now, when I went to my caucus meeting, guess what? No one had read the Constitution in 3 years. Some of them have never read it. These are our delegates. These are the judges. These are the people who are going to choose wise people when they're not wise themselves. And because this is a heritage from God, and if we don't read it, are we spitting on this heritage? Are we trampling it? Do we defecate upon it? It's our heritage, and it's mine too. And when you don't follow it, you elect people who don't follow it, you are exercising unrighteous dominion. You're trampling on my liberty, on my right to own and control my own property. Guess what, folks? After 300 years or so, the people came up to Samuel, the prophet, and said, "Hey, Samuel, we want a king. We want to be like everybody else." Samuel took it to God. God says, "Tell him what's wrong with the king, but also tell him, you have not rejected me. You, Samuel, they have rejected me." Now you think about that. When the people run and say, "Oh, we want government schools, we want government retirement, we want government health care," what they're doing is saying, we don't want self-government. We want the king to take care of us. We want the government to take care of us. Government of the people, of the government, by the government, and for the government. Folks, that's not God's way. But in fact, you could hear this from the pre-mortal existence. I'll give them agency. Oh no, I will save them all. I will make everyone do what's right, and they'll all have retirement. They'll all have arts, parks, and recreation. They'll all have healthcare and schools and housing. I will take care of them. They'll all have jobs. That's Agenda 2030 of the United Nations. Elder Christopherson talked about it. It's a counterfeit of the millennial reign of Christ. And they got their king, and he told them what would be wrong, and it all happened. That's enough for today or right now. Have a good day. Thank you.